Hello and welcome to the Scientific Investor channel. Today we will discuss about cryptocurrencies, the recent news, updates, and we will analyze the charts for our favorite cryptocurrencies like XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Stellar, and others. We will also go through some Twitter posts. Today actually we have a lot to cover. I was actually researching about the information to share today and I was overwhelmed. Like, there's a lot of information, which should I actually choose? So anyway, I'll try to reduce the total time frame of the video and give you guys an entire view of what is happening now and what is our perspective for the cryptocurrency price fluctuations based on its charts and using some technical indicators like MACD, checking the volume. Then we'll look at how the moving averages are working, where the moving averages are currently in a daily, hourly, 4-hour chart. So we'll go through all of that. So first, today we'll just run through the news and then come back to the chart analysis. So this one is actually showing that Bitcoin price breaks below 8,500 and they're asking whether the bears are in control. But I don't actually think that for Bitcoin the bears are in control. So for instance, we can just take the chart of Bitcoin and there's a hourly chart. Okay, we will put that into 4-hour chart. Say in this 4-hour chart, as you can see that if you put a trend line at the top and at the bottom, what you can recognize is it's still following a pattern. So I don't think bears are in a control at any particular time in this particular chart. Okay, if they are talking about a longer term, then yeah, you can actually move into a longer term and watch what is the trend. You see, comparing the price from where it was before, say 2 years, 3 years, you can see the price fluctuated up high, it corrected, then it went up high, it corrected, and it's still moving up high. So if they are actually stating this correction is like bears are in control, I can show you something. Like, look at what happened here. It went up high, it came down. It went up high, it came down. So the correction is always happening in Bitcoin because, you know, these writers, I don't know what they're thinking about. I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. I'm someone who's from XRP community and who is overwhelmed by the digital asset XRP. But still, looking at Bitcoin, I consider it as a store of value. I agree with that. It's the first cryptocurrency, so yeah, there is the value for that. So when we look at this previous run up, we can see 328% run up high. And that's cool, right? Which asset in the traditional financial institution works like that? And it went below 45%. So it's okay, because at least for those who are in crypto community already know this, right? And if you're new, just understand, don't think this is a crash. This always happen. You can see 40%, 45%, 50% correction. It's always happening in BTC and Bitcoin community. So don't worry about that. I mean BTC and the crypto community. And yeah, most of the cryptocurrencies fluctuate along with Bitcoin. So if we put that back into the 4-hour chart and think about what they are talking about, falls below 8,500, can they defend it again? Blah 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 blah. So I'm looking in at this like it just in 4-hour it just fell below all the moving averages which we have plotted like 20, 50, 100 and 200. But for the same, if you are looking at a daily chart, you can see that the price actually breached 50-day moving average as well, and you are getting a death cross from 100-day and 200-day moving average. But still, within the correction, you already know that if the price is actually coming down, it's okay. We are anticipating something here, right? Around 7,000, and it may bounce back up high. So if that is the case, you'll be ready to buy at that bottom, right? You'll dollar cost average. Instead, if you are gonna waiting to buy Bitcoin, then you'll be waiting for a breakout, right? So you're not actually diving in. Yes, we understand that this area is as support right now, which was acting as a resistance previously. But the times changed. Okay, now China is poised for another crypto trading crackdown as speculative fever returns. And as most of us who have been here from last 1 or 2 or 3 years actually know this, what when the media is coming up with a lot of positive news, beware, the price may go down. Instead, when the media, these kind of sources are coming up showing that it's gonna happen, bad things are gonna happen, worse is yet to come, blah blah blah. So you have to think, if they are actually pushing that agenda, what's gonna happen? It'll be something different. So they actually states that the speculative fever returns, but we don't actually see any speculative fever here. And in one of an article I actually saw about traditional financial institution stating about say cryptocurrencies are being used for speculation and they don't think it's healthy for the market. That's really messy for me. At least in my perspective, I think that guy should think in a different manner, because when we from the crypto assets look at the traditional financial institution, what we actually see is they also use their assets for speculation. Like take dollar, don't they use it for speculation? Gold, don't they use it? Right? Everywhere you have speculation. But yes, for crypto assets, this is a new asset class, and 90% of the trading is speculative trading. Anyway, let's move on to the next news article. This shows blow to Bitcoin as former ECB boss makes dire warning. This is the one I was actually talking about right now. This guy here thinks that cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is not actually good, as this is being used for just speculation. Like, this is his words. I'm observing a lot of speculation. It's not healthy. Oh, buddy. You guys can actually put a negative interest rate, which is healthy for you guys. The modern monetary theory, you can buy, take any amount of debt. It's just amount which you spend on your economy. So these guys are coming up with these type of shits. Anyway, that's my perspective. Now, this one is crypto legitization and wall throwing. That's a short one. If you have the full access, you can actually go through that. But what it is showing is it's actually slowing down the case of resolution and creates expense that doesn't do any much good. That's what they are thinking about. All the lawsuits and other stuffs coming in, they're actually thinking about that, not about the the long-term use case which this asset class can actually provide. Instead, they are looking at it in an entirely different view. So what they actually should do is different. Like what they have done, for example, US, they have done pretty much everything in a good deal for internet era, but they are not actually prepared for the blockchain one. Okay, now this one is showing about the CC Binance, the CEO of Binance, is actually showing that, allow the title, really glad BTC has no founder. Yeah, that is better, right? See, when Facebook was actually coming out with their own cryptocurrency, they called in the CEO, come here, we want to ask you something, blah blah blah. So what you have to understand is there is no one you can call out for Bitcoin, right? You can't call in someone and say do. I don't understand, do. If they don't understand, go to hell. That's what I want to say. Now, that's just my opinion again. So now this is I'll actually compare two analysis by two analysts, and what you have to understand from this is they're using one time frame, a couple of moving average, indicators, and stating what they feel. Like for this one, he's showing that this is still in a triangle and it may break up high. He's using a 50 and 100-day moving average. Now at the same time, for the same asset, there is another guy who is showing that the price is below this and the price may go down. So you see the difference between two brains. They actually analyze the same thing and the output is entirely different. So that's why we will actually look at it on both the perspective, say the positive one and a negative one. What can happen if it goes positively, and how much we should be cautious if it is moving in a negative manner. So yeah, then we'll look at next one. Bitcoin signal suggests tumble to 4K. Wow, what a writer he is, huh? He's looking at 4,000 Bitcoin again. Now, personally, anything can happen in crypto, but as far as even traditional asset class goes, as far as the trading goes, there is a traditional thing about support and resistance. This went up high. This was the previous resistance. It just blew through that, and if it falls down, I personally believe it can get support at least here. But even at that particular instant, you can look at this area as another support resistance area, where is 7,000. We previously went till 7,500 and bounced back up high into the moving averages. Like these, we can say the range of moving average, and we are within the range of moving average. We are not below that. So we are still in a correction. Yeah, I agree, we are not above that, like we are not in a bull run at the moment, but we are in a correction. But when I say this, most of them ask, this is your correction, 40%. What can we say about them? What can we say? Anyway, moving on to the next one. It's for our favorite cryptocurrency, XRP. That's a digital asset. Now, MoneyGram exploring use of Ripple's XRP based platform in Asia and Australia. Now, if say Asia is an area, yeah, I'm not actually trying to offend anyone, but when we Asians, at least say Indians and Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, go outside to work, they actually send most of what they earn back to their home country to support their family, say their father, mother, husband, wife, or whoever it is, they send back. So there is a remittance corridor from Asia towards Asia from many of the developed countries. Because India, say for example, my country is supplying, say, the brain power. If you look at top companies in the world, you'll see the high ranking managers, CEOs from India. Yeah, I'm boasting about that because I'm happy with that. Anyway, so when we guys work outside, we actually send money back to our home country. And when we do that, say now I'm in South Korea. At first, when I was doing the same through bank, say for example, I'm sending $1,000, I'm paying around $100 fees. I'm losing my value, and I'm not even sure the $1,000 will reach there due to the conversion costs, correspondent the banking system and all that shit. But right now, if I'm sending, say, using a platform or application known as SendB, which is a partner or runs on Ripple. Now I'm only spending $2.5, not even that, 2,500 won, which is somewhere around $2 for the same transaction. Wow, that's cool, right? So that's the difference when you use a technology like this, because there is no superior technology at this moment, and I don't think we're gonna have something like that in coming decade or so. Anyway, that's so overconfident about XRP. So now nearly 100 million XRP moves between two unknown wallets. Let it move, brother. Let it move. Don't worry, because someone is using this, right? So someone has an interest for the asset. Now this one is actually interesting. It's showing that SBI Ripple Asia, SBI Remit, then a bank from Vietnam. So the corridor is Japan and Vietnam. They are also starting remittance. So just now we just saw that XRP is actually getting connected with Asia and Australia. So now this one is within, but still Japan and Vietnam. That's another corridor, right? Now this one is the same, but if you guys want to actually read the details, you can use this. And at the bottom, the highlighted words are: the adoption of RippleNet will further differentiate the company from its competitors. We will also develop a remittance service that incorporates crypto assets in future. You see, it's plural, crypto assets. When XRP community talks, they include everyone. Say that can maybe use Ether, Bitcoin, LTC, Dash, or some other cryptocurrencies for a payment purpose, because this is RippleNet. Anything can be used within. They support everything, unlike others. We only do this. You see, I always get a laugh when I see this guy, because some of his opinion about XRP is like that. If you're well educated, if you can read and understand English and do research, you'll have your own opinion about XRP. Compare its efficiency, everything, you'll understand. Anyway, let's look at the news. So this is another one, like a positive one at least, showing that Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP prepare for a significant move up high. Another one showing is the reversal here. I hope so. It should be here. Now this one is also a positive one. XRP is not the only asset that was added. Yeah, there was others too, but the key is XRP is also added, and they are actually anticipating to move into different countries. They are expanding into different nations. Now this is a platform BlockFi could be coming to crypto as a lender. But I don't actually trust these Twitter polls, because the reason for that is nothing often with Twitter, but last time the same actually happened with another platform asking which one you need, we will add that, blah blah blah, and XRP community supported XRP and came up around 80-85%, but that didn't happen. So they actually highlight here, it's Bitwala. Yeah, they shows like this. So hope it's not something like that. Now, leading US crypto exchange expands support for another group of cryptocurrencies. These are all positive news. Now I'm actually running through the news because I have to go back, look at our favorite cryptocurrencies, analyze the chart. Now this one is a bit old, like 3-4 days ago. Now they are showcasing a 50-year plan for crypto regulation. Wow, beautiful. You see, these old people are looking at, now I'm not offending them, comparing to my age, I'm below 30, so for me they are old, with all respect. They're looking at 50-year plan. Wow, that is good. A long-term approach, better. But guys, if you're actually taking something like a 50 years and giving them 20 years in the initial phase, I'm sure yours is gonna be second or third in blockchain, whereas someone other will emerge as the top. The Bank of Canada is also looking at digital currency, because if the public is actually using digital currency, they also have to, right? They don't have to give everything to crypto exchanges to send money. Say if one of my family members in Thailand or Mexico, somewhere else, I can send them money just using RippleNet, or someone who runs on Ripple. It's so easy for me. The money gets there and at no cost, like literally no cost compared to the banks. I'm actually running through all of these, but I'll actually put the links of all these news and Twitter posts in the description. So if you guys actually want to go through that, it'll be really easy to do so. Now we'll actually look at some of the digital assets, their news, and we'll try to analyze that. So first we'll go to Ether and we'll look at Ether to USD chart. Then we will move on to XRP, NEO, XLM, and others. So this is a daily time frame. Instead, we'll actually directly dive into the hourly and 4-hour time frame. We'll check what is actually happening right now. What was the difference or a new pattern forming in these time frame at this particular time. So now, if I look at this, we can see something moving like downside, right? The tops are moving downside, the bottom is moving downside, everything is down. But at the same time, at the bottom, we can see that the MACD actually tried once, twice, and it crossed, but that was a fake out, it came back down. Now it's again trying to do the same. So if you look at an up move, 1 try, 2 try, 3 try, and 4, it went down. 1, 2, crossed, fake out, then another one, it went up. So in an hourly, I think that has made its bottom, and now it will actually come back to the range of moving averages. Now that's just based on the hourly chart. Now if you look at the 4-hour, it breached the 200-day moving average. All the moving averages are coming down. No, negative, but no, it's not, because if you look at weekly, we can see a support is there. If you just compare the MACD, you can see that there is a support being there. If you look a bit closer, tried once, twice, 3, and it's it's just touching the point, floating that area, so it will move up high, and with that I believe we will start another uptrend after the small correction. Because when I say small correction, this is ether, you can see the run up high, 350% run up high, and if you are a trader, you would have taken your profit somewhere in this region, right? So 350%, and it dropped around 58%. So that's correction for crypto. For if the traditional market guys don't call this a correction, it's okay. Just go to the chart of silver and look what happened previously. Where did it end up? Like around $50. Where is it now, and how low it went? So yeah, blah blah blah. Now looking at XRP, now this is actually a weekly chart, but I'll prefer discussing on 1 hour chart. Now if you see, it's more or less similar to that of ether, right? The patterns which are forming here at present, because this is 1 hour chart with all these moving averages, you will feel so. If you have been watching my videos, you know this. We actually discussed about this previously. When the price was breaking below this, we actually told that there will be a retest of this level and going down. Then yeah, the price actually went down. The moving averages are above the price, or price is below the moving averages. So at this particular time, in shorter time frame, it's a bit negative. I completely agree with that. But if you look at it in a daily chart, zooming a bit out, you can see this. There is a trend line and a triangle running on from a year. We are within that triangle from last 1 year. We haven't broke above or below. Yeah, there was a fake out here and here. Now hopefully this area was previous support, and we are in that region now. So even if we move a bit, I believe it will be supported around 0.25. So if you are looking to trade this market, place your stop loss below this. Or if you are an investor, just buy and hold. That should be your aim in long term. Now we actually are going to look at XLM to USD, and this is the daily. Compared to all others, there is positive news here, right? The 20-day moving average has managed to cross the 50 and 100, and it's still moving up high. At the same time, the 50-day moving average is crossing the 100-day. Now here for XLM, you are getting actually a golden cross here, and for cryptos from last couple of months or so, we are getting price crash or correction when we get golden cross. Like if you take XRP, that's being the case for some time. We were actually anticipating for a price to push up high, like see 20 went up high, above the 50, above the 100, the price crashed down. Now the 50 crossed the 100, that's a positive cross, still the price is continuing to go down. So I don't think that's bad. Yeah, that will be bad for short-term traders, but nothing for long-term investors. Now we look for LTC. For LTC, it's just started that. It came above the long-term trend line. It crossed above that. So that's a bit of positive news for that. And it broke the resistance line, came back below that. Now it is retesting that area, and at the same time 50-day moving average is acting as a support there. So that is actually critical. Now if that support line remains strong and the price consolidates and move a bit high, I think the buyers will actually come in. Now if you actually draw a line trying to connect what is happening there, you can see a channel forming. And you also have to look the standard deviations, like where the channel started, where the points are, how it is moving. So in that aspect, you can see a channel like this, which is moving not in a bad way. This is an upward channel, right? And an hourly. So if you actually zoom out and look at the same thing in 12 hour or say 1 day, you may see there is a correction and it's making a higher high here, higher high here, higher high here. That's good, right? For the long term, it's really good. Now we'll wrap up our video here. We actually went through a lot of different news articles, Twitter posts, and so if you guys actually want to go read that articles in depth. I'll link all those in the description. If you guys like the content I provide, please do support the channel by clicking the subscribe icon. And if you like the content, please do like the video. So see you guys on my next video. Bye now.